Appreciate you guys coming out. Here we are again, another first day of fall camp. Just like always, man, there's a lot of excitement here in our building. I think the way it's a little different this year is the fact that we every season brings about adversity and times where you need to be resilient. And this group of guys that we have assembled this year, they seem to really be ready to embrace all the good and bad that comes with taking on the challenges of the season. So that in itself gives you a little bit more excitement than normal. So really fortunate to be here, really fortunate to be going into my 6th year here at Maryland with Coach and Coach Locksley, and very grateful for the opportunity. So again, very fortunate to coach the young men, and I get a chance to coach as well. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Start on your right with Dave.
Morning, Brian. Dave Preston, WTOP Radio in Washington. Even with the amount of talent you have coming back and the starters you have returning, the world doesn't stay, in one place. What do you feel the challenges are for your defense this fall to keep pace with and outpace the other offenses in the Big Ten?
Yeah, so you want your guys that have experience coming back to really show that. You want them to take the next step and be a different player than they were last year relative to their experience, while you kind of bring along the players that are doing it for the first time. We got some talented guys in our secondary that hadn't started the game yet. So the guys that have started, they need to lead the way. The speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. So if there's a challenge, it'll be just growing the young guys up, as well as the older guys really showing that they belong and they've been able to benefit from their experience.
Hey Coach, Jacob Steinberg with the Baltimore Sun. I asked Coach Locksley about this as well, but having 6 defensive backs drafted in the past 6 NFL drafts, 4 in the past 3 years with some other guys in NFL camps, just the healthy competitiveness between those guys. What do you recall about that, and how integral do you think that was in their development as players?
Yeah, I mean, it's you just look back and you think we still show examples of guys like Ja'Cory Bennett, Nick Cross, Deontay Banks, Tarheem Steele. I mean, those guys were competitive and competed at everything they did from day one to the time they left. They really showed the example, and really a lot of the young guys that are coming up, Perry Fisher, Lionel Whitaker, guys that were around when they were here, they got a chance to see that firsthand. So anytime you're able to produce guys of that stature, it's a blessing, and it gives us a chance to have a model to show the guys that we have here now. If they put their head down and go to work the way those guys did, and the opportunities are there.
Hey Coach, Michael Stamatos with the Diamondbacks. So Coach Locksley earlier mentioned that this is going to be a defensive-led team this year. Who do you see being the defensive leaders, both vocally and with their play style?
Yeah, so when Coach says that, I mean, really what that entails is the fact that we have some guys that it's their time to lead. They've been in the program for a few years now and really made a contribution, and now it's their time to really take the bull by the horn. So guys like Tommy Aking-Basode, Tajay Johnson, Kellen White, obviously Dante Trader, Ruben Hippolyte, guys that have continued to really be to the forefront of our leadership, and they know what it takes to get it done. They're at that stage where they know why it's important to do the little things, and they're able to grandfather that into the rest of the team. So we're very fortunate to have those guys leading us in that regard.
Wayne Viner, Turf Talk. You've got a couple of safeties once again, it's a star position for you. Can you talk about what Trader has done so far, and then what the growth of Glendon Miller gives to your defense?
Yeah, so I'll start with Glendon first. Glendon has really been a kid that has benefited from being here in Maryland. He's a guy that, he's faced different obstacles and times where he's needed to be resilient, whereas some guys have moved on and through the portal or whatnot, but Glenn has stuck it through. You can see his maturity develop on and off the field, and he's definitely one of the guys that we're leaning on in terms of leadership, in terms of playmaking ability, the whole nine. Dante, he's been as solid as they come. I am excited for him this go around because if you remember last year, he was coming off the heels of the lacrosse season in which he performed at a high level. And that's leave one physical sport to go to another to come back to most physical sports. So the fact that he gets the opportunity this year to really have a good summer under his belt, to get healthy, he's the old man in the room now, so he's able to coach up the young guys, and he's the epitome of the speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. We're going to go as he goes, and we're excited about it.
Second row on your left, Gary.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. Gary Stein from Press Box at WCBM Radio Baltimore. Not that you didn't have powerhouse teams in the conference before, obviously you do, but now you've got 4 more that come in from the West Coast. Can you just talk about the conversations that you're having with your defense about the offensive challenges that these teams are going to show you?
Yeah, the guys, they kind of come to me and say, Coach, I was playing against USC last night on the video game. But it's exciting, man. If you're a competitor, you want that. You want to have to deal with the fact that now our competition stretches all the way across to the other end of the country in a new time zone. So, we can't look ahead to opportunities that we have this year, like going out to Oregon. But definitely there's an excitement there, and it just gives you a little more added push. I'm sure it gives the guys a little more push to do more. Obviously, we have to broaden our summer scouting and how we prepare because there's going to be there's a lot of newness in terms of what we're dealing with this year. So it's exciting and it challenges everybody. It puts us in an uncomfortable state for a little bit, but that's also a good thing for you.
On your right, Dave.
Brian, what sort of growth are you expecting from Ruben Hippolyte? What makes him so special in that room on the field for you?
You know what? Probably the biggest area where I see Ruben growing right now is just he's really getting to, kind of express his leadership a little bit more now. He's got younger players under him, whereas, the guys came in around the same time he did. That's kind of been the deal for him since he's been here. But now he is like Trader. He's the old man in the room. So him really getting to express his leadership qualities and skills, I think it's a plus for us. On top of the fact that he's playing a lot faster, he's seeing things a lot better, and he's knowing how when to utilize his speed. He's gotten stronger in the weight room, so he's playing with more power, and it's like a cheat code to have him right now for us. So we're very fortunate.
Jacob.
Coach, the corners that I asked about earlier, you hear defensive coaches talk all the time about how one of the most important things for a defensive back is, being a goldfish, flushing a bad play and just moving on. With those guys in particular, how quickly were they able to acclimate in that? And just in your experience as a defensive coordinator, how hard is that to teach a young defensive back flushing a bad play and just, moving on to the next one?
Yeah, you have to really, it starts in recruiting. You really have to do a really thorough evaluation of who you're looking at. If you're going to ask kids to come to your campus and play man coverage against the likes of Marvin Harrison Jr., players like that of that stature, they got to have a short memory. And you watch them in high school play against really good competition, and you want to see how they respond in those moments where they need to be resilient, where they need to bounce back, because they can make a wrong move, a wrong action one way, and it shows up, in 6 points on the board. So definitely having guys that have the ability to bounce back in those scenarios, along with obviously the talent. But you want, there's a difference, and you want to find that out really early in recruiting before you commit to someone in that position.
We have time for 2 more. We'll go to your right, Wayne Hitt.
Coach, can you talk about Phillips and Johnson, guys who really play the nose and anchor that line, and what's the ceiling for Jordan Phillips?
Jordan he's special. His work ethic, his will to play hard, his will to be there for his teammates is unique. So a guy like that, there is no ceiling in my opinion. I think he can go as far as he wants to go as long as his mind and body will allow him to be at this pace. A guy like Tajay Johnson, you know, Tajay Johnson for us last year played all across the front. You know, he was kind of the guy that, you know, spelled guys, but, you know, he played a lot because he spelled guys at different positions. He played DN for us, he played the 3 technique, he played the 0, and he's really our best interior pass rusher. So he created a lot of gaps and opportunities for some guys like Donnell Brown, Kellen White, Jayshawn Barham last year to rush the passer through him being penetrating gaps and really opening up lanes. So he's also a selfless player as well. So, you know, his leadership, Jordan's leadership, even though they're unique in how they do it, they're guys that we feel confident going into any stadium and lining up and being stout.
Can you add something about Quayshawn Fuller into that?
You know, Quayshawn is the type of guy, man, when the larger the stage, the bigger the lights, the more he'll show up, the more he'll turn around and make a play. We watched, you know, we took clips from last season where we wanted to show some effort plays, and, you know, a big play in the Michigan State game on the road last year when he kind of tackled the quarterback, dove for him, and made the play on the 1 yard line. And we eventually, through that series, got a goal line stand, which really gave us a chance to kind of get some separation, which as the game went on, we needed. But those plays like that and those situations is when he raises his level and rises to the occasion. So looking for him to be more consistent with his fundamentals and technique and being able to match his athleticism and talent. But really expect a lot of big things out of Quayshawn this year.
Last one on your left, Mike.
Back here, Mike Rubetto with staff writer for Maryland Athletics. Going off of the question about Jordan Phillips, just how have you seen, you know, his mindset, you know, how he just approaches things, kind of rub off on other people? I feel like having a guy like that in your program, you know, really starts to change culture and have, you know, a lot of other people like him approach, you know, the game of football, the game of life, even the way he does.
Yeah, Jordan's come in and earned it. You know, a guy coming in out of the portal from another school, his first actions here was to find out the little things that we did around here that made us who we are. He wanted to indoctrinate himself in what we were already doing. So he didn't come in with any type of, he didn't come in expecting anything, if you will. He came in really coming in to buy in. And I think, you know, early on, obviously his unique way of working and approaching his work was a little different for some guys. But as time has gone on, people see that guys see that he's real about what he's doing. He believes in it, and you know, he's earned the respect of his teammates, and he'll earn the respect of his opponents as well.